What's the next thing you remember happening, Mr. Fletcher?
So the next thing that I remember happening is me getting up, moving down from the elevated section of the train, and basically screaming for him to shut the fuck up and that he can't yell at kids like that. I think I said that's fucked up. You can't do that.
So it sounds like you sprung into action and decided to take a stand.
That would be a fair assessment, I would say, yes.
And then why, in your mind, was it right to leave your seat, travel down to kind of a different section of the train, and speak in a raised voice to a stranger in a harsh tone?
To make sure that he understood that he was being watched and that his actions would be judged accordingly, not just by me, but by anybody on the train that day. Well, the next thing I remember happening is as the ranting and the loudness was going on, all of a sudden there was a sound. It sounded like a very sharp and loud strike, and I turned and I looked and I saw the gentleman that was yelling, in this case Jeremy Christian, standing nose to nose with somebody else.
Then you hear this noise. At the time, did you know what the noise was?
At the time, what I believe the noise was that I turned and watched, and it appeared he had struck the gentleman in question.
What's the next thing that you do?
Well, the next thing that I do is just immediately rush towards the situation and try to get in between the two of them before things can escalate.
Well, okay, tell me about that. You are not tall. We heard, I think, from Dr. Gunson that Mr. Namkai-Meche was 74 inches, which by my math is 6'2". We know the defendant is pretty good sized. Why did you want to walk up to that situation?
Well, to be clear, it had nothing to do with what I desired. I just simply did what I thought I should do.
Okay, that's fair. But why did you think you should do that?
Because
It's all right.
When I looked, and what I saw initially was this tall, spindly man with curly red hair. I remember glasses, don't ask me why. White dress shirt and beige slacks. What I saw was somebody that had probably never been in an altercation in their life, better yet a full-on fist fight with somebody that is screaming on a train. And what I could immediately notice was a combination of things. Number one, the man was surprised. So right off the bat, this was shocking to him.
The man was surprised. That's Taliesin Namkai-Meche.
Yes, Taliesin was surprised.
Appeared surprised?
Yes. The gentleman did not look prepared to handle a violent altercation.
Why did you think a violent altercation was imminent?
Because I have been, I guess for lack of a better term, victim of enough violence that I know what it looks like before somebody hurts somebody else.
You walked up and did what or said what?
I remember getting up in between them. I think I tried to say something. I don't believe I got to saying it because the first thing that ended up happening was that I was pushed rather hard against, there's a rubber section in the train that allows it to bend, and I was pushed towards that. The next thing that I remember happening was me stepping up, and I don't remember if I said something. I stepped back forward to reassert myself in the space I previously was in. I believe Jeremy, at the time, I thought he was going to grab Taliesin to hit him in the face, but it could have also been a push. And it was at that point that I then grabbed him by the collar and the back of his right and my left of the shoulder of his shirt, and I began to move him away.
Now, did you know at that point, actually prior to that point, that Jeremy Christian had pulled a knife out of his pocket and was holding it in one hand?
No.
Could you see that knife?
No, I was paying attention to his face, unfortunately.
What were you saying when you grabbed him, moved him away from Taliesin?
I think I was saying, get the fuck off the train, go on and get.
And why were you saying that, and why were you pushing him towards the door?
Because it was my intention to make sure to put him in a situation where he decided the best course of action was to leave.
He stands up and says what?
Hit me again, motherfucker. I dare you.
What did you do physically?
I pushed him again.
And
Closer, hopefully, towards the door.
how did he respond?
He responded by stabbing me in the throat.
Say it again.
He responded by stabbing me in the throat.
All right. Did you see that coming?
Not at all. In fact, originally I thought he punched me.
Really?
Yeah. Although, what's so funny about it is that the way I remember it, I spent a lot more time on that section of the train after the stabbing than apparently I was. I remember what felt like a few minutes where I thought he had punched me and I was getting ready to put my hands up to guard for another one, and then I noticed there was blood on my fingers. And I was like, that's odd. And then I realized there was blood on my shirt, a lot of it, and then I realized it was coming out of my neck.
What did you do then?
Put my hand against my throat so I would hear as much pressure as I could to the wound. Briefly, for some reason, crouched down and then began exiting the train as fast as I could without, in my mind, raising my heart rate, because I was aware of the fact that the faster my heart beats, the quicker I'm going to be dead. Because in my mind, at least at that point, that's a given.
What's a given?
I'm going to die.
That's what you thought?
Absolutely.